Remember a few weeks back, a photo surfaced. A gentleman sent it to me from Crazy Horse, South Dakota. And in the photograph, a hexagon appeared in the upper left-hand corner. He didn't notice this hexagon until many weeks after the fact. There was no direct sunlight involved in the photograph that could create maybe a lens ray or a glare. It was just a simple photograph, and this hexagon appeared in the sky. He sent it to me to look at. I kind of compared it to the sun simulator because it does have similarities, but we don't know for sure what we're dealing with here. It almost looks like there's two. If you look at it real close, you can see an outline of one here to the left and then one down here just off center a few degrees to the right. Whether it is two or not, I have no idea. But either way, it's kind of neat. Don't know what it is, but it does have an uncanny resemblance to the sun simulator. And the sun simulator is not a conspiracy. It's actually a real thing. But check this out. A video was sent to me I'm about to share with you from Southwest Birmingham, Alabama. Therese shared this with me a couple of days ago, and I'm about to share it with you. I've seen a lot of sun pictures and video over the years, but I've never seen one quite like this. This is unique, and here it goes. It looks like something is moving in the center of the sun. Whether it is literally something moving or it's the camera trying to process something, I don't know. I've taken many videos of the sun myself. I've used filters, brief. If you pause it and look at certain segments, individual clips of the video she made, you can see a hexagon. Watch. Here comes the hexagon right there. See that? So that's a perfect match, at least structurally, with what we saw in South Dakota. Another hexagon. Only this time it appears to be moving in the center of the sun. I've never seen anything like that. I've seen hundreds, probably thousands of pictures of the sun and sky over the years, and that's a first. Gotta admit, that's a first. This one here was very unique also. This is the one from the monument in South Dakota, Crazy Horse, South Dakota. And you can see there almost appears to be two, but definitely one. Now back to...
These pictures are amazing. And you want to tell me that there's no sun simulator and we see these things? You're trying to tell me that we don't have a sun simulator? Now, let me explain something to you about a sun simulator, okay? In addition to using it to hide things in the sky, which is a secondary function of the system, in my opinion, I believe that the governments of the world were warned that there would be a minimum, a solar minimum, even a grand solar minimum. We still are trying to determine the causes of it, but they know the answers, and that the sun had weakened over the last several years, probably since 2007, as far as I can tell. And the practical, logical, scientific reason why you'd have a sun simulator, NASA star deployed, is for food production. Simple as that. Why we don't have to make, and when you're looking at the sky, what I'm going to do next, I'm just going to go through a bunch of pictures that people have sent, because I think that you guys want to see these pictures, and I can't sit on them and be a hog and just not show them. So I'll do that here in a second. But look what happens when you do a little bit of filtering on this picture. Right? Right? And then here's these classic sundogs like we talked about. Again, I just want to explain to you guys, when you see this, these lights around the sun, either at the 0, 90, 180, 260 degrees, what you're seeing, or 280 degrees, what you're seeing, whatever, I can't do math. What you're seeing is really the prism effect of this sun simulator basically shooting out the focal point in 4 different directions. It's a very complex system, very simple to understand how they do it. Here's a picture. Oh my God, guys. This is an interesting picture that was taken from a train in Denmark. And in the first picture, nothing. Second picture, Jacob's Ladder, or some such thing. Interesting stuff. Anyway, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to grab up some pictures here.
And location of both of those things, whatever they are. I have no idea what those are either. You'll see what I mean here. There's the one at 6 o'clock position. Here's the one at 1. This is picture number 2. This is picture 1. This is picture 2. And I've adjusted the color in both of these pictures. You can see that this little white object, whatever that is, it was in both of his photographs. In this photograph, it's at the 4 o'clock position. And this is in the same position with respect to 1 o'clock. It's just farther away. So I don't know if these things, whatever they are, were moving, or if this possibly moved a little bit, whatever it is. I have no idea, but I've seen hundreds and hundreds of lens flares in photographs, and this is just simply not your typical lens flare. But here's these objects still at 6 and 1. It almost looks like it's, I don't know, dipping into the clouds. The clouds are moving around it or something. It kind of looks that way, but maybe not. Now, the reason I say that is because of this photograph, the way I've got it adjusted. I've really got things tweaked on this one. And you can see the clouds almost look like they are moving around this thing. But maybe not. I don't know.
Good afternoon again. It's January 8th, 2018, 12:42 p.m. Sun Simulator breaking down big time. Sorry about the last video. I don't know why it just suddenly cut off. Look at that. Definitely something happening. I'm guessing that's the Sun Simulator, or maybe where that the sun's supposed to be. And it's breaking down and reforming. But the blueness is definitely something. And look at that dark shadow to the left. Stupid Sun Simulator formed again, but I had a little bit of it breaking down. And if it breaks down once, there's a chance it could break down again. Flashing blue beam coming through again. Got an object to the left side of the Sun Simulator coming out. Sun's definitely strangely shaped. Try to, whoa, we got some stuff happening up at the top. Man, oh man. Not sure it could just be clouds, but it's definitely strange. Definitely look at the Sun Simulator now. Definitely misshaped, shrinking, and flashing. Maybe something below. Maybe just a cloud. Look at the weirdness. Strangeness. Hot. Better back up. Look at the way the Sun Simulator is just weird shape, like it's trying to be round, but it can't. I can't see, it's just a weird cloud, I guess.
What I'm talking about in this video is the same stuff that I was talking about at the beginning of the year, the Sun Simulator. The Sun Simulator. Everybody sent me hundreds of images of what appears to be the fake sun. We found patents on the fake sun. Like this video I put up in March of this year, which shows the fake sun. It shows the simulator, and I realized that there are sun simulators on the planet that they use to simulate the sun in underground bunkers, so forth and so on. But everybody's watched this video, everybody's mirrored this video, copied this video, and had their thoughts on this video. But it appears that for the first time, one of the large New World Order companies, Boeing in particular, has actually shown this for the first time without a doubt. And it's a huge case of predictive programming. A subscriber sent me the link to this video a couple of days ago. I showed this yesterday in the live stream, and I'm going to show it to you right now. We weren't wrong. All those people that believe that they have a sun simulating satellite or machine were not wrong, because Boeing actually puts it right out there. Several people have put out videos showing how they could cloak such an object, and I believe a lot of us have actually caught photos of it or video of it. Stuff like this video right here. Things like this are just really, really odd to me, because then you see images like this. Now, this is an old Freemasonic drawing, and it shows exactly the same exact image that we're seeing in real life. Exactly. You see that right there, directly in the center of this sun image, the Freemasonic sun image, with their two pillars, Boaz and Jachin. It's right there. It's identical, absolutely identical. Absolutely identical. And a lot of people have said that's the digital camera. It has a built-in feature that causes this effect. The only problem is we've tested a variety. These solar simulators are incredibly real, and we've been telling you about this for almost a year now. The biggest question that stands is, what happened to our sun? Where is our sun? Because I can look outside with binoculars right at the sun, and it doesn't harm my eyes. That's not how it works. You know, sending me pictures of things like this. Look at this. Here's the moon, obscured by chemtrails, as always. But look what's right next to it. He sent me a series of pictures. Watch this. This other planet or body is right next to the moon. Is this why they're chemtrailing us so bad? Is something actually coming in? Now, this video right here was captured by a channel called the Zion Warrior. And no, he's not into the religion of Zion. But watch this. There's the sun with the black dot in the center, correct? Watch when he zooms in. Nope, sorry about that. Watch this. Are you seeing that cube? Do you see that? Right in the middle of the sun. And of course, that's some sort of camera malfunction or whatever to the effect. The problem is, he was only able to capture this on certain days in June and July, and then again last week it came back. Other than that, he couldn't capture it at all. But look at this. Not only did he catch it again, but he caught it reflecting in the water as well. I've never seen this before, and I'm going to say you probably haven't either. In the water, but he also catches it in the sky simultaneously.
Is because they work for, alphabet agencies, trying to make you look bad, trying to discredit you, so no one listens and no one gets on your bandwagon. Look at this. Look at the shape of this. That is so unnatural. Watch as we get a little further into the video. Watch the shape of this thing. This thing, it changes shape while I'm videotaping it. Meaning they're adjusting it. It just rose. It's only been in the air for about 20 minutes. So every time it makes landfall over the oceans, they don't care over the oceans. There's not many people seeing it. But as it makes landfall, they have to do adjustments. Look at this shit. Where the sun simulator is, and it just all looks fake. That looks like CGI, man. And this is live video. This is I just shot this morning. Isn't this crazy looking? Look at this. Look at this. If that is not a simulated light source, I don't know what is. Look at the center of it now. It's still blue, but it looks, because of the angle I'm at a really high altitude. You're seeing like a spinning. So that tells me that there is no light in the center of this device, and that the center is some type of nucleus, maybe the power source. You know what I'm saying? If you ever looked at the
and yes, we've got that black dot here, and I found something very, very interesting about this black dot by accident. We look at the bottom here and we've got this coloration of light. It looks like a rainbow effect, and we've seen this many times before. And yes, I've caught this before. I made a video about this called Watch the Frontal Lens Spin, and if you look over here, we've got our lensing system in place. You can see the lens obfuscation there. It just turns it into a great big soup of light, like just very much like a kaleidoscope. And I believe that there is a lens in front of the sun simulator, and there's another lens that also spins, and this is what we get to see. This is Lake Warren, northwest, I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, 18th of the 12th 2016, and and when we capture these, they always look the same lip around the outside, and you can see that it is very consistent. That isn't a planet, that's part of the lensing system, and you can see it here very much more clearly. And I've actually caught them at night, and you can see that just there, exactly that. There you go, a lens. And if we actually zoom in just that little bit and bring that picture down so we can see it, you can see that lens just there. There's the moon, that isn't the sun by the way. Sun simulator lens, and there's what I call in the sky. You can see it just there, it stands out. You know, it's been reflected on the inside of the chemtrails, not the outside, so it remains a constant size, and this actually changes as it goes through the sky, which is our sun simulator, and the sun is behind it. And the idea of the sun simulator, by the way, is if something comes between the earth and the sun, it will cause a shadow across the earth, and that is exactly what the sun simulator is there to do, is brighten the skies up, or make it really hard for you to see through it unless you've got a camera, because it turns it into a big LED torch. I've said this many times. Jeff P has actually caught this many times on camera. You need to go over and subscribe. I'm sure most of you do, and most of you know about Jeff P. Classic photo, lensing system at its best, and you can see the focal point just there. So this is what makes me believe that this is a projected image onto a lens, which is just here. And what is going on there? Really, come on. It just looks like the sea or the water is meeting. Yeah, there's something going on there. How low is this lens? You know, is it floating through Alaska, or is it up there in the sky? How big this lens is, I'm not really too sure, but what I can see is I'm looking at a 2D picture, and yeah, it is a 2D picture to all intents and purposes, but it has no depth. It just looks strange. It looks like it's going the wrong way in the sky. Right, let's also pay attention to the time, because the time now is 9:42. The sun started to rise at 6:22. Okay, so it's been up in the sky for quite some time, and if you notice how dark the skies are, so is something being eclipsed, and that's why they got the sun simulator out. I'm sure it is. By the way, I have not used any filters, colours or anything on this in any way, shape or form. This is exactly the way it came off the camera, believe it or not. The sky is intensely red, and yeah, it's just starting to brighten up over here. You can see it's not what I would call really bright. Similar results with different filters, but this one is outstanding, and I've got to show you this footage. And straight away something happens. This is, yeah, I don't know how to explain this. We've got this black line around the outside, and it's consistent in every bit of footage I'm just about to show you. And I've actually checked other footage that I've got, and it comes back exactly the same. And this to me proves that this is artificial. If it was a camera abnormality, we wouldn't get consistency all the way through. That was hard for me to say, wasn't it? And there you can clearly see it going through the sky, the sun simulator, and there's the lensing system, and that sticks out just like a sore thumb. A kaleidoscope of light coming off and obscuring everything that's behind it and around it. Let's very quickly look at the facts. We've got a colour picture that looks like this. We've got the black object in the centre of the sun simulator. We've got the reflection on the water. Let's have a look at the next picture. We apply the filter, and hey presto, we get this black object in the centre, which is no longer black. It's got black ring around it, and that leads me to believe it is an object. It is a foreign object. It is an LED bank of lights, and I've got proof of that because I made a video called LED Sun Simulator, Is That Possible? And you can see the LED banks of lights just here. We've decreased the brightness and contrast, and yeah, it just stands out. As I was corrected by one of my subscribers, they're not LED banks, they're LED cobs, but it comes down to the same thing, I think. And I've got to say a big shout out to the Zion Warrior. I hope everything's okay with you, brother. I've got to say, one of the best bit of footage that I've ever seen in my life, and you can see it here. This is the LED Sun Simulator spinning, or is it a Fresnel lens in front that's spinning, that making, yeah, whichever way it is, it's not right and it shouldn't be on camera. But LED Sun Simulator, I think that is proof enough, don't you? The bit of footage we're just about to, yet again, let's zoom in and just have a look, and there you can see it is just there. Black line around the outside. Why would there be a black line? It is a black and white filter. This is what I'm trying to impress on everybody. That is not right in any way, shape or form. And as the sun simulator comes down, oh look what we get there. Yeah, you've got to ask yourself very, very carefully, and you can see the lensing system around the outside very, very clearly in this. Yeah, that's normal in everybody's book. Yep, that's for sure. And you can see it just as it disappears into the distance. And I've got to show this sunset because I think it's quite immense. And yeah, it looks like a big explosion in the sky. I suppose in conclusion, what I'm trying to really say is, why do they need a sun simulator? Why do they need to smudge the sun out? Yeah. So when I take pictures of the sun, I expect to see the sun and nothing else really. The reason we got this is because I've actually moved the unit. Let's have a look at the details on this picture. And as you can see, it was taken on the 16th of the 6th, 2017 at 8:35 AM in the morning. And you can clearly see there's something around the outside. Yet again, exactly the same, different type filter. That shouldn't exist because our sun is round and it's not a triangle. That tells me that, don't forget, this is not a picture, this is a thermal image. So to get a picture like this, well, what can I say? And you can clearly see that there's different, yeah, we've got our sun and we've got something around the outside. We shouldn't be getting that, not on thermal. That means to me that there's actually something there. And you can clearly see the whiter it is, the hotter it is. And we've got a cooling effect that's going on around the outside. But there's absolutely nothing wrong. There's nothing in front of the sun, of course there's not, you know. You can see the reflection of the clouds and all the other bits and pieces, but we should not get this around the outside. Let's have a look at the details on this picture.
That's what I'm doing here. This is the Brooklyn Bridge. This is not the Brooklyn Bridge, the Bay Bridge. And this is the San Francisco Bridge. Golden Gate Bridge. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Again, I keep also wanting to note that this thing strangely disappears. Okay, so if it's not in the camera, why is this flare hiding behind a cloud and then go into a full circle and then even disappear again? But wait, this is the part I want to show you when the moon sets. Here comes the moon. Wow. That looks like a full moon to me, but it shouldn't be. It should be almost a new moon. And what are these two objects tracking with it? Oh, those are stars. Oh, really? Okay, I give you that, but it shouldn't track perfectly with the moon because the moon orbits around the Earth. That means the star should be a little out of sync. And what do we got here? Looks like a partially eclipsed planet to me. Does moon have a visitor going with it? Yeah, and you can even make out the midnight chemtrails to try and hide this. Look at that. That is just a full moon, but it shouldn't be. Oh, wait, it gets weird. Watch this. Oh, look, kind of back to the way it should be, a partially eclipsed moon. Did you see that? Did you see that? Look at that. What's happening to our moon? The moon should never just go from a full moon to a partially eclipsed moon like it should be. And what are those objects traveling with it? Unbelievable. Look at that full moon. I'm going to go watch this tonight with my own camera.
Okay, so here we have just a kind of a bobo picture of the sun simulator. Okay, so here we have our sun. This is the device manufactured by Bausch & Lomb and Lockheed Martin. So basically what it does is takes our sun that has moved far away from the orbit where the sun's rays and heat no longer give valuable, stuff towards the Earth, as it's moved far away outside an elliptical orbit, who knows, or maybe another planet has passed in front of it and stole its thunder. Who knows the reason why they would put up a sun simulator, but everyone's noticing that what's in the sky right now isn't the same as the yellow sun you remember. It burns white, it burns hotter, and no one wants to go out in the sun anymore. How it's not torching all the plant life yet is beyond me. Maybe they're spraying something within the chemtrails that's keeping the plants alive. Some type of chlorophyll, or who knows. But anyway, this is the sun. This is the sun's rays projecting into this like cathode ray tube. Well, it has this receiver here, and this cathode ray tube that projects, enhances the sun's rays and projects them on, like, people think it's a spinning glass center. Some people say it's round, some people say it's square. I think that's when sometimes with certain cameras, when you point the camera at this, what we think is the sun, you're getting this outside lens array, but sometimes you get that black center, and sometimes it looks like it's spinning. I think that's what that is right there. It's basically the mirror that reflects the cathode rays tubes and then spins them in a high-speed rate, so it's sending pulsated rays across this lens array. Excuse me. I didn't mean to do that. It's sending pulsated rays across this lens array, and then it projects down to the Earth and looks like a sun. Now, what I'm about to show you is a sunset video taken at about 500 feet with my drone. I think I get a reflection of this, the cathode ray. Okay? Here we go. Alright, let me, hold on one sec. Let me shrink that video back down for a second. At a point, you're going to see the lens flares pointing down. You're going to see a red lens flare, blue lens flare. You might even see some patterns in the lens flares. Then you're going to see this green lens flare come up from the bottom that has a weird round top and a cone shape. I think that lens flare is a reflection of the cathode ray. Basically, it's a trigger, a gun, that absorbs the rays from the top and shoots them out a trigger, a funneled trigger. It's almost the way cathode ray tube televisions were made. I have a background in electronics, and the concept of a CRT, the old televisions we used to have that had that, glass front and the heavy picture tube, they work the same way the Sun Simulator does. It blasts rays through a funneled tube to enhance the power. It's called a cathode ray tube or trigger. And that is exactly what the Sun Simulator is, just at a larger scale. Okay, so I think by now you guys have probably seen the green funneled lens flare. Totally bizarre, totally bizarre. So now after you've seen it on here on the video, now let's try to go back to remember you've seen it now, and it looks a lot like this. Did it not? Did it not look a lot like that? Well, that's a cathode ray trigger, which is part of the Sun Simulator. I'm going to give a shout out to Richie from Boston because he did an extensive video on this. Go to his channel, Richie from Boston, subscribe to his channel. He's up to date on all awesome news, not fake news.
This mammoth object sets next to the left of our sun, causing very pinkish red skies on those nights in the lower 48 states where we are lucky enough to see a piece of the horizon through heavy chemtrail cloud cover. As the sun moves westward, the Sun Simulator, explained in many previous videos, puts out an enormous amount of glare in an attempt to engulf this huge object in glare, rendering it non-viewable. This glare engulfing feature is what causes our sun to have the appearance of changing sizes dramatically throughout the day. Viewers may recall that the other day we saw the sun about 30 times its normal size from the south-facing weather cam in Kipnuk, Alaska. This same gigantic tan-colored planet that we see every morning, clouds permitting, from the southwest-facing camera at the military base in Elmendorf, Richardson, Alaska. There is a third object on the right edge of the screen. Remember this, because we will see that again later. The sun appears to take on a contorted shape as the Sun Simulator engulfs this object in glare to make it non-viewable. Clouds permitting, we see this same huge object rising next to the sun every morning from the southeast-facing weather cam located in Cheakamus Canyon, British Columbia in Canada. Our real sun is the smaller light on the left, and the gigantic tan orb, now highly illuminated by the Sun Simulator, is on the right. The concealment jet, explained in detail in our March 21st video, maintains perfect alignment with the center of the Sun Simulator and the eclipsing planet, sending signals to the Sun Simulator regarding the various types of concealment, be it glare engulfing, blurring, or shadowing. Odd-shaped reflections of this concealment jet are visible near the bottom of the screen. In the last frame, we see the blurring mechanism applied. Eventually, this gigantic object becomes blurred and then fades away into the transparency of the atmospheric chemicals. On the southwest-facing camera in Skagway, Alaska, we see the late afternoon sun getting low and approaching these same two objects again that we saw from the military base and the Hoonah, Alaska cameras. Soon they will be setting to the left and to the right of our sun, causing red and pink skies to the left and to the right of our sun. The Sun Simulator takes on a contorted shape in order to cover the closest object in glare, and we see the odd-shaped reflections of the concealment jet swing across the screen. The south-facing weather cam in Talkeetna, Alaska, shows another eclipse with a large planet full of craters. Notice the airplane-shaped reflection of the concealment jet, which aligns itself with the eclipsing planet and the black center of the Sun simulator for optimum concealment. This planet has some very interesting craters and texture to it, which are really brought out with some contrast applied. From Old Harbor, Alaska, we see the black dot reflecting upon the water, proving that it is not a camera issue, but an actual piece of equipment. From the weather cam in Taslina, Tulsona, we see the concealment jet in action again, closely following a transparent planet, barely even visible with contrast applied to it. Reflections of this jet swing across the lower part of the screen as the sun approaches the planet in preparation for an eclipse. Notice how the reflections of the jet equipment line themselves up with the eclipsing planet and the center of the Sun simulator. These objects are part of an approaching celestial system. Many people ask when the system will make its closest pass to our Earth. A general indication of time is provided in the following screens of text. Please don't forget to like this video and subscribe.